Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast with your hosts, Kathy Brewer and Terry Huberman.
Well, hello there, and welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast. I'm Terry Huberman.
And I am your co-host, Kathy Groover, and we're going to start this episode, as we do every episode, with an angel card. Oh,
Ooh.
exciting. Ooh. Depth.
Oh, nice.
Go deeper. Pay
Deeper.
attention to what is beneath the threshold of awareness. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Dive below surface appearances and respond to what's really going on. And it's an angel in a little scuba mask and flippers, and it's about to dive into the water.
They come up with the funniest things.
They're getting crazy with these little, and these are so much more elaborate than the actual cards because I'm pulling them from Interlinks online. So
wow.
Yeah, very, very cute. Okay, very, 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 very cute. All right, let me start.
Funny, haha.
Very funny. All right, so we're going to talk, speaking about deep, we're going to talk today about the collective consciousness. Also, now a lot of us say collective unconscious. So we're talking about the collective and the collective. So it is a very deep subject.
Going deep.
It's going deep. And I think it was Jung was one of the first that talked about the collective consciousness and this idea, looking at the history of certain symbols and certain myths, that perhaps we are all tapping into one big cosmic soup and ladling out things that have existed through different cultures and different nations throughout time. So I think he was really one of the first people that brought that to our consciousness, this idea that there might be this collective that we are all sharing in. And I know we had a brief conversation about this before we hit record. So where are you standing on this?
Well, okay. So if we're all one, because it's the idea of oneness too, right? So if we have put it this way, if we have a bunch of human beings in one room, we're able to make distinctions and differentiations, right? Like you have a different hair color than I have a different hair color, right? So there could be a room full of people. This person might have darker skin color. This person might have, lighter eyes. You can see the difference. But as soon as you remove the earth suit and you're just left with light and consciousness, also known as the soul, it's one big room of light, right? So that's the theory or the idea of oneness. What separates us is the humanity or the human part.
Yep.
Right. So a collective consciousness is a bunch of people. Now, it doesn't have to be the entire collective consciousness. It can, but it could just also be groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be groups as well that has a collective consciousness. And it's in a way a very big thought form, right? And what we know from thought forms is that when you place your attention, your energy, your awareness on something, that's where we feed our life force, right? And as soon as something has a life force to it, then it becomes a something or a thing. And so it becomes like an agreement with that group of people or that consciousness that is what this means, and that is what this does, and that is what this thought form, how it responds, reacts, and behaves. So the more we place our attention and awareness on something, the more it can actually grow as a thought form. So when someone talks to me about collective consciousness, it's like, okay, at least here in the States, I think most other places, so we'll say the United States consciousness, collective consciousness, is we all agree Monday is on a Monday and Tuesday is on a Tuesday and Wednesday is on a Wednesday. We've all agreed to that. That is our collective consciousness. But obviously it can go into different categories and things like that. So that's what a collective consciousness is a group of people. Even if it's a small group of 10 people, it's still a viable collective consciousness, right? So a collective consciousness is also an agreement of a bunch of people, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does.
Nice. Are you a fan of the author Dan Brown?
I'm not familiar with Dan Brown, so I'm
Okay,
gonna have
so
to take note.
he wrote Da Vinci Code and Angels and
Oh, okay.
Demons, and yeah. So his newest book, Secret of Secrets,
Okay.
is all about the collective consciousness.
Interesting. Okay.
And his take on it, and one of the things I love about his books is he does so much research, and though they're fiction, they do often come from a place of, hey, maybe this stuff is actually happening, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so his theory in this book, again, it's fiction, so
Sure, sure.
is that we have this collective consciousness, and the main character in his book was a researcher who has figured out that there's no way our brains as a human have the capacity to remember all the things that we need to remember. Because if you cut open my brain, well, where's the memories about grade school, and where's the memory?
Yeah.
Where's all the jokes I remember? There's no little joke section in my
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
So the theory of this researcher in this fictional book is that it's sort of like the cloud, that all the things we know gets put up in the cloud in this collective consciousness. And when we're going, shit, oh God, what is that name? And we can't remember the name of that movie. It's because we've put it up to the cloud, and we have to send whatever we send up there to dig through all the stuff, the filing cabinets, and find it. And as I was reading this book, I was getting so excited because he's such a popular author. I was like, oh my God, he's now introducing this concept to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping this shifts the thinking of, hey, everybody, maybe we're all one big thing, which is the non-duality, which we talk about as we deal with awakening. And it was just such an exciting book for me. And of course, I just love him as an author. It's very well written and funny and, clever, and it's a mystery, and it's spiritual. And I kind of was reading this and going, yeah, that theory makes perfect sense, because where is all the memories that I've been, and when we forget something, when I can't remember that guy's name, and then one day it pops back in, where did it come from? So in his telling of this in this book, The Secret of Secrets, I really liked his theory on that everything is stored in this basically iCloud of our collective consciousness. This is how I think if some person has an idea, it's not uncommon that somebody else has that same idea. This is why I've had friends that will not speak aloud their book idea, their movie idea, their invention idea, because they're like, if I've thought of it, someone else has thought of it.
Someone else has thought of it. Yeah.
And looking at the history of symbols and myths throughout the millennia of nations and tribes that have never been near each other. How are there pyramids in Mexico and pyramids in Egypt and it's like, you look at that sort of thing, and to me, it's not I don't think there's coincidences with stuff like that. So to me, that collective consciousness, or the collective unconscious, is that cosmic soup that we all have the ability to tap into, and that we are all contributing to. This is why, people have said, oh, I'm just one person. Who cares if I meditate? Or who cares if I start to awaken? No. It lifts everything, because we're sharing this consciousness.
Right. And energy influences energy. So that's why it is important about how you think, feel, and behave, because it does affect other people.
Yeah. And there's a theory called the 100 monkey theory. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard of it. I would love to hear it again, because I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I would have to look it up to see what exactly how they phrase it. But it's basically, if you take 100 monkeys and you teach like 75 of them, or a certain amount, to do something new, then eventually, just by a certain percentage of them knowing, the rest just kind of get it. It says,
I think that's called entrainment.
Yeah. The 100th monkey effect is a parable suggesting that when a new behavior or idea reaches a critical mass of individuals, it instantly spreads through the entire population.
It's like when a whole flock of seagulls are flying in one direction, and then all of a sudden they move the other direction.
That I think about that all the time. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Often used as a metaphor for social change, the idea that once enough people adopt a new consciousness or behavior, it becomes part of the collective consciousness. The story's been heavily criticized and debunked as an exaggeration, but it was based on these monkeys in Japan, actually, learning how to wash sweet potatoes. So it's a theory. It looks like science has gone no, but who cares?
Well, for now.
Now. Thank you. I have to, this has nothing to do with what we're talking. Well, it kind of does. There was a thing on YouTube. I love learning things on YouTube. And it said the 10 scientific discoveries you didn't hear about this year. And one of them was they discovered that we have an energy field.
Whoa.
And I went, yeah, it's the freaking aura. We've been saying this for decades. And so I'm like yelling at the TV, and my husband's like, okay, calm down. Like, but this is not a new thing. What do you mean? You proved it. Us healers have known this forever, that yes, it's a field. We can see it, So anyway.
Science is so slow. It's just got to catch up.
Yeah, eventually science will catch up to what we've known for a very long time. So, and, the collective consciousness or collective unconsciousness, like I said, Jung talked about it ages ago. Let's tap into that. Do you have an idea of how we can use that for, I don't want to say personal gain, but how we can use that to enhance our own lives and also enhance the community that we're around? Oh, you just froze. Oh, that's never happened before. Well, let's wait and see if Terry comes back.
Oh boy. Let me check my.
Yeah, there you are.
Uh-oh. We froze, or I froze. I hope it was me because I started going like this.
Yeah. Says the internet connection is unstable. That's all right. We'll edit that. So anyway, my question was, do you feel like there's a way, or do you have a suggestion before we end this one on how we could use that collective consciousness to, not, I don't want to say personal gain because that sounds greedy, but how we can use that collective consciousness to enhance our lives, to enhance our communities? What can we contribute to that to help shift the planet?
I think it's awareness, and well, that's what consciousness is awareness, but it just the awareness that there is this possibility, and then direct our attention and our focus in that way. So that's what we're feeding our life force to.
Yeah.
But you have to be aware first to go, oh, well, let's make this simple. Like, oh, I'm thinking negatively, right? But I want there to be world peace. That's what every contestant in a
Miss America pageant says.
I want world peace. Okay, great. So when you're angry and you're sad or mad or whatever, and you are aware of it, because most of the time we're not aware of it. So you got to catch yourself. This is why they call it the work. It's hard work to catch yourself and go, okay, I know I'm feeling negative. I'm going to direct my attention onto something else that's yummy and feeling good. Like, oh, my dog. I'm going to go pet my dog and play with my dog. So that is literally directing your attention and your focus onto something that is peaceful.
Yep.
Right. But it takes awareness and consciousness to do
Absolutely.
that.
I'm going to give a very scientific example of Ghostbusters.
Scientific.
Very scientific, very, very proven theory. But the whole premise of Ghostbusters was that the anger of New York was bubbling up under the surface and causing all this chaos. And when everybody came together and became happy at the end, everything calmed down and all that energy reversed. And as fun as the first movie was and as bad as the rest were, I think there's some truth in that, right? I mean, we are so affected by, I'm sure you've had this experience where you walk into someone's house for a party and you're like, oh, they were just fighting. You don't even need to see them. You don't need to have a conversation. It hangs in the air thick, So if we can work on shifting our personal consciousness, that is going to affect everything, and we're going to find this positivity rolling through. So do the work. I know it's hard, and sometimes it seems thankless. The more we awaken, the more we do the work, the more positivity that we can own and spread out. It's starting to shift. It's making a difference, people. So stay on it.
Stay the course. Stay the course. For sure. You'll notice a difference.
Yeah.
Even in your own world, because it starts in your own world first, because energy influences energy, it will expand and emit out. So stay the course, people.
Yeah. It's changing. It's changing. I guarantee it. All right. I am Kathy Groover. I can be reached at kathygroover.coach.
And I'm Terry Huberman. You can reach me at terryhuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us on and in this episode of the Intentional Awakening podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.